right, perfect. So we're just going to start in a comfortable seat, just rolling out your head, neck, shoulders, just kind of working out any kinks. So this class is Vin, Yin, and Core. So we'll start out with a warm-up, and we'll move through some Vinyasa, some sun salutations, just adding on different kind of standing sequences. And we'll do a little bit of core work, so core being not just the abs, but the back, the sides, the trunk. So we'll do a little bit of core work and then finish with some yin, some deep stretching. So close your eyes or just kind of look out at the water, just softening your gaze. And we'll just start to kind of tune into our breath. Taking long, deep inhales in through your nose. Long, deep exhales out through your nose. If you want here, you can come into more of an Ujjayi style breathing, which is inhaling and exhaling through your nose. The inhales are the same length. And the main difference is when you exhale, you slightly constrict your throat as if you're maybe fogging up a mirror with your mouth closed, or kind of blowing out of a straw with your mouth closed, and you hear that little audible sound in the back of your throat. This breath just really helps us focus. It helps us stay present. It also helps warm our body. Take a moment to just kind of notice your environment. The feelings, the sounds, maybe the smell, and just kind of embrace where you are, your environment is part of the experience. And the water we have right now, kind of this nice warm wind, the sun setting, the waves. Take a moment to think of something you are grateful for, setting an intention for class before we start. Very good. And then from here, you can just kind of slowly open up your eyes, and we're going to start with our legs kind of straight in front of us. So you can kind of remove that flesh from underneath your sit bones to really connect your hips down with the earth. We'll inhale to reach our arms out nice and long, palms up, maybe looking up towards the sky, and then exhale to reach your arms out and back down again. Still moving with that Ujjayi breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale to make your way back down, opening up to the expanse of the water, the marina here. This time on your way down, take your hands behind your back, and we're just going to interlace our hands, draw the shoulders down and back, sitting up nice and tall. Head and chest is just looking forward. And then on our next inhale, we'll reach our arms out and up again, and we're just going to add a twist. So you can take the right hand to the outside of the left knee, left hand behind your back, looking over your shoulder. So it doesn't matter what direction you start in, we'll change and go in the other direction the next time. So sit up nice and tall. That hand behind your back is helping to prop you up, looking over that shoulder and even getting a little a neck stretch as well. And then on your next inhale, reach the arms out and up. And then we're just going to switch directions. So opposite hand to the outside of the other leg, looking over the other shoulder. A few more deep breaths. And then from here, we'll reach out and up again. And we'll start with just a little bend in the knees. We're going to hinge forward from our hips, coming to a forward fold. So since it's our first forward fold, we're just keeping a bend in the knees in case our hamstrings are tight. But if it feels okay, you can just kind of straighten the legs, staying here a few more breaths. And then from here, you can draw your shoulders back, lift your head and chest up, and we'll walk our hands back. We're going to come to a seated butterfly pose. So taking our feet a little bit further away from us than we normally would. So just kind of starting out gentle, drawing the shoulders back. First, hinging forward from the hips. So lengthen your spine. Feel that nice stretch on the insides of the legs, the outsides of the hips. And then whenever you want, when you're ready, you can round your shoulders. You can bring your forehead down towards your feet, maybe your forearms down. Just allowing your body to round and soften into the pose. Good, and then from here, we'll slowly make our way up, and we're going to come onto our hands and our knees. So go ahead and move through a few rounds of cat-cow pose, just moving at your own pace with your own breath, about 3 or 4 rounds, just warming up your spine. Hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees kind of right underneath the hips. We'll do one more round of cat-cow. And then you can make your way into a downward facing dog. So spreading out the fingers, lift the hips up and back. Maybe stretching it out a little bit to start with. So bending one knee, straightening the other, walking your dog. Coming back to your breath. From here, we're going to roll forward to the top of a plank. So we're going to move through a low vinyasa. So we'll just start out nice and slow. So draw the shoulder blades apart, lift up through the core. Option to stay here, or you can drop the knees down as we lower down through a chaturanga. So elbows hug the ribs, going down nice and slow. Draw the shoulders back, lift up your head, neck, and chest. Good. And then exhale. We'll come back down, making our way back into a downward facing dog. Taking a few deep breaths, stretching it out here, chins towards your chest. And then bend your knees, look up to your hands, bring your feet up to your hands, coming to a ragdoll forward fold to start with. So just keeping that nice bend in your knees, lifting up through the hips. Checking in, noticing how your body's feeling. From here, we're going to come to a half lift. So draw the shoulders back. Hands maybe come to the shins, coming up halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold forward deeper. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale, half lift again. Exhale, fold forward. Again, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold deeper, and then next inhale, make your way all the way up. Either arms reach out to the side or forward. Lengthen through your spine, just coming through an extended mountain pose here. From here, we're just going to come to a side oblique stretch, so just stretch up and over towards one side to start with. Hips stay squared to the front. Reach, straighten the arms. On your next inhale, back through to the center. Exhale, up and over to the other side. Good, and then inhale, back up, and we're going to reach back this time. So a little back bend, reaching up, hips come forward a little bit, maybe a little bend in your elbows, looking behind you. And then slowly make your way up. All right, good. So from here, we're going to move through about two rounds of sun salutations. So stepping towards the front of your mat, inhale, reach up, moving with your breath. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to bend your knees, plant your hands, coming to a plank, lowering down, taking your time either to an up dog or cobra. So with our up dog, we have the straight arms, drawing the shoulders back. And then exhaling back into downward facing dog. About 3 deep breaths, resetting here. Always okay to have a little bend in those knees. I have tight hamstrings, so what helps me is to step my feet in a little bit closer, sending the chest towards the upper thighs. From here, bend your knees, look up to your hands. You can walk, step, or a light hop, bringing the feet to the hands, coming into a half lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Next inhale, we'll make our way all the way up. Finding length in your spine, and then exhale, hands to heart center. All right, we're going to move through one more exact same thing. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Half lift. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, coming into a plank, and then taking your time to lower down. Maybe you drop to the knees. Option to come all the way onto your belly to a cobra or to the up dog, a little bit deeper back bend, and then when you're ready, downward facing dog, settling back in, coming back to your breath. And then from here, bend the knees, look up to the hands, bring your feet to your hands, coming into a half lift. Inhale, exhale, fold, and then inhale, reach up. Good. All right, hands to heart center. We're going to come into a chair pose. So feet close together, bend your knees, sit back. When you're ready, reach the arms up, draw the shoulders back. Good. A few breaths here. From here, we're going to go through a vinyasa. So exhale to fold forward. Half lift, inhale. Exhale to bend the knees, plant the hands, coming to a plank, lowering down. Taking your time through that up dog or cobra pose. Looking up, coming into a downward facing dog. From here, we're going to add on. So come to a three-legged down dog, reaching the right leg up. So keeping the legs straight, heels up towards the sky. So you are squaring the hips, flexing that foot. Deep breath. And then come forward on the left toe, bring that right knee high to the chest to help bring that right foot through between your hands. We're going to send the back knee down and back. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up for a low lunge. So drawing the shoulders back, reach up. Good. And then opening up to cactus arms here. So shoulders squeeze together in the back. You're opening up your chest. Good. All right, we're going to bring our hands to our heart center, hinge forward, take the opposite elbow, so left elbow to the outside of the right knee. This is our prayer twist. Peace fingers, if possible, they're going to kind of face you, looking up and over that shoulder. Good. All right, so from here you can bring your hands back down, and we're just going to move through to the other side. So lift that back knee up, step back, we'll go through a vinyasa. Lowering down, elbows hug your ribs as you lower down. That up dog or cobra pose. Back into downward facing dog and three-legged down dog on the other side. Left leg reaches up, heels up to the sky, straighten the leg. Try to square the hips. Chest still towards that upper thigh. Deep breaths. And then come forward on the right toe, left knee high to the chest, left foot through between the hands. Send the back knee down and back. Good. And then when you're ready, find your balance. Make your way up to that low lunge pose, drawing the shoulders back, lengthen through your spine. From here, we'll open up our chest again, cactus arms. Good. We'll bring our hands to our heart center, hinge forward, taking your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Good. And you want to think to try that you're twisting, so try to think to lift your stomach up and over that thigh. And then you can bring your hands back down. We're going to move through a vinyasa again. So lifting that back knee up, step back, lower down, Up dog or cobra. Back into downward facing dog. Resetting here for about 3 breaths. And then you can bend the knees, look up to the hands. Bring your feet up to your hands, coming into a half lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward deeper. And then we're going to finish by sitting back in chair pose. So bend the knees, sit back, reach up. Good. All right, from here we're going to exhale, fold forward again. We're going to move through another vinyasa, half lift. Bend your knees, plant your hands, coming back to a plank. Lowering down, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3-legged down dog, so right leg reaches up. This time we're opening up the hip. So go ahead, bend that knee, flex the foot, open the hip. If you want to go deeper, maybe check underneath your left armpit, seeing if you can see a glimpse of that heel. And then we're going to bring that right foot through between our hands. Send the back knee down and back. We're going to come back into that low lunge, just kind of adding on. So reaching up, good. Finding your balance. And then opening up again, cactus arms. You can bring your hands back down. We're going to come into half splits pose. So you're going to walk your hands back, work towards straightening that front leg. If your hamstrings are tight, you can keep a bend in that knee. Square the hips, so you're sending the right hip back, left hip forward as you bring your forehead down towards that front knee. Deep breaths, feeling that stretch in the bottom of the right leg, the right hamstring. One more deep breath. And then we're going to come forward, moving into lizard pose. So take your right foot over to the right, to the edge of the mat, so both hands are inside that right foot. All right, from here, either just staying up here for a few breaths, or if you want to go deeper, bringing one forearm down, maybe both. So feeling this stretch a little bit more, a little bit deeper, a little bit more in your hip. One more deep breath. You can come up onto your hands, and we're going to kind of do a funny plank. So you're going to lift that back knee up. Your right foot's going to turn to the right. Your back heel's going to come down, so both feet are facing right. That front foot can come back just a little bit, and we're going to lift up. Yeah, so it kind of is like this type of action. You guys got it. Good. Lift up through the hips. Reach that top arm up. Take a few deep breaths here. Good. We'll make our way back down. We're going to go through a vinyasa. So step that front foot back, lowering down to an up dog or cobra. Back into downward facing dog. Same thing on the other side. This is our last vinyasa flow. So left leg reaches up, bend at the knee, open up your hip. Still press the chest towards the upper thigh, flex that back foot. Maybe check underneath your right armpit, seeing if you can see that heel. And then when you're ready, bring that left knee high to the chest, left foot through between your hands. Send the right knee down and back. We're going to make our way up to the low lunge to start with. Good. Cactus arms. And then we'll bring our hands back down. So starting to walk the hands back, straighten that front leg. Squaring the hips, so think to send the left hip back, right hip forward. and then folding forward towards that front knee. One more deep breath here. And then we'll come forward, taking the left foot over to the left side of the mat for lizard pose, both hands inside. Maybe staying here if you feel like you're getting a good stretch here, or if you want to go deeper, starting out with one forearm, checking in. Maybe bring the other down. This side may feel different than the other side. All right, we're going to make our way back up onto our hands. Lift the back knee up, so that funny plank, so your heel's going to roll over to the right side. Your foot's going to move to that same side, and you can even bring that foot back. It might slide back a little bit. It'll be easier. So both feet facing the left. Reach up. Lift up through your hips. Very good. And then you can bring your hand back down. We're going to step that front foot back, moving through our last vinyasa. Coming back into downward facing dog for a few breaths. Noticing how you feel now compared to the beginning of class. And then we'll walk our feet, or step your feet up to your hands. Half lift. Fold forward, and then make your way all the way up. All right, very good. Hands to heart center. So we're just going to do balancing pose. So we're going to do dancer pose. More challenging, of course, out with the wind, with the big sky and the horizon, but we like the challenge. So ground through. Let's start with our left foot. Ground through your left foot. Left hand to your hip. And take the big toe side of your right foot. And you might want to just focus on staying here. All right, so this is already just giving you a little quad stretch. If you want to go further, soften the standing leg. You're going to hinge forward a little bit. Maybe you reach that arm forward, keeping your gaze down towards the front of your mat. Maybe pressing the foot into your hand to open up your quad. If you come out, just come back in. No big deal. Maybe one more deep breath. And then we'll come back down, release, shake it out, and we'll just do the other side. All right, so ground through the right foot. Maybe this side's going to feel better. Right hand to right hip. Take the big toe side of your foot. Just pause here in this kind of this quad stretch. You might want to work on staying here, but if you want to go further, soft knee on the standing leg. Start to hinge forward. Maybe pressing the foot into the hand. Keeping your gaze focused down at the front of the mat is going to help you be a little bit more stable. Maybe reaching the right arm up. Deep breaths. Just doing what you can. Good, and then you can slowly make your way up, shake it out, roll out your ankles. Let's roll out our wrists too. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of core work. We're going to do some planks and then some work on our stomach for our back. So let's start at the back of your mat. So go to the back of your mat, and we're going to start out by just rolling down. So you can just kind of bring your hands in front of you. Start to come, roll down, let your arms hang heavy as you roll down, coming to a forward fold. We're going to walk our hands out, walk our hands forward to come to a plank. Draw your shoulders apart, and we're going to hold it for 5 deep breaths. Now, if this hurts your wrist, you can always come down to a forearm plank. That's perfectly fine. So we're going to hold it here for 5. Stand up through your core. 4, 3, 2. We're not done. We're going to move to a side plank. So on your right side, option feet can be staggered. One knee can be down, or you can stack the feet, reach the top arm up. Whichever option, we're going to hold it. 5 breaths again. Lifting up through the hips for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come forward back to a plank, regular plank, and then we're going to move to the other side. So maybe the same option, either staggered, feet help with balance. One knee is down, can help with the pressure on the wrist and the hand, or higher option, try to stack those feet. And with your gaze, you can keep it down at your hand for more stability or more of a challenge. Maybe look up to your top arm. All right, let's make our way back through to the center. Forgot to count. And let's lower down super slow all the way to your stomach. I know. I was like, what am I doing? All right. So we're going to do a little work on our stomach. All right, we're going to come first into a locust pose. So take your hands behind your back, palms facing down, and we'll inhale to lift up. So lift up your chest, lift up the tops of your feet, staying here for about 5 breaths. Go ahead, and then you can come back down. So bring your forehead in your hands, and we're just going to do some upper body raises. So Pilates style raises, working our upper back. So we're just going to keep your head in line by keeping your head on your hands. Inhale to come up, exhale lower down. So not coming up super high, keeping the ribs, the lower ribs pressed down, the hips pressed down. We'll do about 10 of these in total. Inhaling on your way up, exhaling on your way down. 4 more. 3, 2, last one. And then you can keep your head down, and we're just going to work the lower body. So pointing the toes, lifting up both legs at the same time, lowering down. We're going to do about 10 of those, and again, they don't need to come up super high. Five more. 4, 3, 2, last one. All right, so from here, we're going to do one arm bow pose. So bend your right knee. You're going to take your right hand back for the top of the foot. Left arm reaches forward. When you're ready, you're going to lift up. So press the foot into the hand, lift your chest up, lift that back foot up. A few deep breaths. One more breath. And then you can go ahead, release. You can take your feet, bend at the knees, and just windshield wiper the knees side to side a few times. And then we'll get ready to do the other side. So grab the top of your left foot, right leg is out long, right arm is long. When you're ready, inhale, lift up. Deep breath. One more deep breath here. And then go ahead, release, and windshield wiper your knees side to side. So for the last one, option to come into locust pose like we did for that first one, or you can do bow pose with both legs. So whichever option you want to do. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and make your way into it. Lifting up, staying here about 5 breaths. You're in bow, pressing the feet into the hands, stretching the quads. And then when you're done, go ahead and release. You should like doing these side to side a few more times. All right, so from here we're going to come into our first Yin Yoga pose, and it's going to be Sphinx pose. So we're going to stay on our belly, just keeping the elbows underneath the shoulders. So we're going to hold these Yin Yoga poses for about 3 to 4 minutes. All right, so this pose, Sphinx pose, is good for our back, especially our lower back. You want to keep your shoulder blades wide, and your head can either look down to make the pose a little bit gentler on your lower back, or you can bring your heart forward, looking forward, or even looking up a little bit to just kind of increase the stretch a little bit more on your lower back. Trying to allow your back muscle to just release, relax, just coming back to your breath here. So option, if you're already feeling this is a good stretch, is to just stay here. But if you're feeling like you want to try to go a little bit deeper into the back stretch, you can take your hands wider and then work towards straightening your arms for more of a seal pose. So just as an option, if you feel like you want to go a little bit deeper for just a few more breaths. One more deep breath here. Good, and then we'll make our way down. So this time you can bring your hands by your side with your palms up. One side of your head is down for a few breaths. And then you can lift your head up and bring the other side of your head down. And then you can slowly make your way back up. Let's come into a child's pose for a few breaths before we come into our next pose. So just taking the knees apart, sitting back to the heels, reach forward. Good, and then you can make your way back up, and we're going to come to a seat. And we're going to set up for a wide-legged forward fold. All right, so taking the feet out wide. So again, if you want, you can kind of remove that flesh from underneath to kind of really connect with your sit bones. Allow your feet to relax because we're going to be holding it longer. And then you can start to make your way forward. So maybe just taking your time, so coming down halfway to start with. Just allowing gravity to do the work. Taking a moment to kind of notice where you're feeling the stretch. So this pose is targeting the inner legs, a little bit the hips. Maybe also you feel in your hamstrings and then your knees as well, strengthening the muscles in the knees. Try to find your edge. So even though we're allowing our muscles to relax, we want to make sure that we're still getting a deep stretch. And then once you're there, just trying to find some stillness. Stillness in your body. And then maybe coming back to your breath to find stillness in your mind. From here, we're just going to walk our hands over to one side. So it doesn't matter which side, bringing one hand on either side of that leg and then coming forward over that side. Finding your edge over here, settling in. From here, we're going to add an oblique stretch. So you're going to take that inside hand, the hand that's closest to the leg, kind of bring that forearm inside, taking the top arm up to the shoulder, opening that shoulder open. As you spin it open, you kind of feel the stretch start and the side muscle, the obliques can reach that arm maybe up or over if you'd like. About 2 more deep breaths. And then you can bring that hand down, just moving nice and slow. Walk your hands back there to the center. Maybe pause, and then walk your hands over to the other side. Finding your edge on the other side. And then you can bring your forearm inside that knee, and then the top arm's going to come to your shoulder, and just try to open that shoulder up. Start to feel the stretch in the side muscles, obliques, and then maybe reaching the arm up or reaching the arm over. Two more deep breaths. And then you can bring that hand back down. Walk your hand back through to the center. Just kind of pause. And then you can walk your hands back, making your way up. Pausing here again. And then you can kind of bend the knees. We'll windshield wiper the knees side to side a few times, kind of releasing the tension in our back, the lower back. All right, and then just kind of shaking the legs out in front of you too. And then as a counter stretch, we'll come to a reverse tabletop, so bending the knees, hands behind you, lift the hips up. Maybe allow your head to drop back, a few deep breaths. And then you can make your way down. All right, so we're going to grab a drink of water if you have water. And next we're going to come into pigeon pose, so stretching out our hips. So we'll start in a downward facing dog. Whenever you're ready, just kind of stretching it out in that downward facing dog. And then coming to a three-legged down dog, reaching that right leg up. And then we're going to bring the right knee behind the right wrist, the right foot over to the left side for pigeon pose. Walk the left knee back, and we'll pause in the upright pigeon, drawing the shoulders back, lengthen through your spine. 1 or 2 breaths here. And then we'll come down to a resting pigeon pose. So maybe resting on your forearms, if that feels comfortable. You also might want to stretch the arms out long, bringing your forehead down as an option as well, if that feels comfortable. But just settling in, allowing the muscles on the outside of the right hip, the right glutes, to just kind of start to release into the pose. Softening your face. If you notice any other muscles are becoming tight or tense, just trying to loosen those muscles. Allowing yourself to just let go. Taking about 2 or 3 more breaths. And then you can slowly start to walk your hands back, making your way back up to that upright pigeon. So to come out of the pose, you might want to try to come out into the 3-legged down dog. So tucking your toes in the back, lift the hip up, maybe make your way back into a 3-legged down dog, stretch it out, and then just stretching out both legs in downward facing dog. And then coming to a 3-legged down dog on the other side, lifting that left leg up, stretch it out, and then bring the left knee behind the left wrist, walk the left foot out to the right. Send that back knee back, pausing in the upright pigeon, so drawing the shoulders back, lengthen through your spine, taking a few breaths. And then you can make your way down to the resting pigeon. Noticing how this side feels. Consciously telling your body to relax into the pose. Relaxing the muscles in the hip, the glute, butt, and the rest of your body as well. Checking in, making sure you're not scrunching up your face. Allow yourself to just let go into the pose. About 2 more deep breaths. And then start to make your way up. Pausing in that upright pigeon, taking your time. And maybe tuck that back toe. Lift up, making your way back into 3-legged down dog. Maybe stretching out the hips a little bit. Just coming into a regular down dog. And then we'll make our way back onto our hands and knees, coming into a child's pose. Then you can walk your hands back, and we're going to finish on our back. So just making your way onto your back. If you want, taking one more drink of water before we come onto our back. Once you're on your back, you can hug your knees in towards your chest. And just kind of rock side to side or just kind of move in circles. And we're going to keep that right knee hugged in towards our chest. Take our left leg out long. And we're going to bring that right knee up and over to the left side for a twist. So you can relax that hand on the left hand on the right knee. Right arm can either go out to the side or be bent at the elbow up overhead. Either looking up at the sky or just looking up, or you can look in the opposite direction of your knee. And from here, you can slowly make your way back through to the center. We'll hug our left knee in towards our chest. Take your right leg out long. And we'll bring that knee up and over to the other side. Left arm can be out long or just bent at the elbow. Feeling that nice kind of release in your back and your spine. And then making your way back through to the center. We'll straighten both legs, reach our arms up overhead, making yourself as long as you can. So pointing the toes, stretching through the fingertips. And then making your way into Shavasana. So maybe just bringing the hands down by the side, allowing the feet to open up. If it might feel good for your back in Shavasana, if you normally have a tight, sore back, to bend the knees and just allow the knees to drop in towards each other. Allowing your body to just sink into the mat. Allow it to release and relax. Coming back to just a normal breath, not trying to control it in any way. from here, take a nice deep inhale in through your nose. Complete exhale out through your mouth. Start to roll out your ankles, roll out your wrists a few times in each direction. Then you can bend your knees, reach your arms up overhead again. Roll onto one side, just pausing there for about 2 to 3 breaths. And then you can push yourself up to a seat. All right. And we'll finish by bringing our hands to our heart center, taking one more deep breath, reaching our arms out and up, pressing our palms together to bring our hands back down. Taking a moment to just feel that sense of gratitude again. Allowing the positive energy that you feel from your practice tonight to be a benefit to yourself and the people around you throughout the evening and throughout the day tomorrow. Namaste. Thank you guys. What a nice evening. It's dark. It's getting dark over here. I forgot to turn the lights on in the boat.